Hello everybody and welcome to the Music is Medicine blog. My name is Gerhard Fankhauser and today in this episode we are talking about the healing power of music. The healing power of music is a vast and timeless subject. Much of this blog has already touched on different facets of it. Music is and has always been a medicine. In its very nature, it nourishes and restores us. My own journey into healing music began by experiencing states of expanded consciousness and bliss through music, as well as encountering phenomena of resonance and synchronicity that pushed me to ask deep questions. What is the power of music? How does sound affect us? Why does it do that? Where do the laws of music come from? This was before the internet made knowledge accessible everywhere, so I searched through books on the subject, but most of what I found was superficial. Unverified claims like this note resonates with this chakra or this tone corresponds with this planet. These explanations didn't answer my questions, and I realized that true understanding had to come through experience. So I followed the thread of experience through my own musical practice, performances, musical ceremonies, shamanic rituals, various forms of music-induced trance states, and deep immersion into listening, while also studying authentic sources, Pythagoras, the Vedas, Sufi tradition, harmonic science, metaphysics, and music therapy. Through this journey, a more holistic and mystical understanding of music and its healing qualities unfolded. Let's begin with the word healing. It's closely related to the words whole and wholeness, and I believe wholeness is our natural condition. We are born whole and complete, and nature itself exists in a state of wholeness. We can call that wholeness harmony. Harmony is our original state. Every disturbance of harmony, whether physical, emotional, or mental, creates imbalance, pain, or disease. Healing is the return to harmony, a restoration of our original state of balance and well-being. Healing music is any music that supports that process, the music that helps us get tuned, supplies what is missing, the missing chord, energy movement, and brings us closer to happiness, to peace, to balance. At the core of our own existence are two primal rhythms, the heartbeat and the breath. These rhythms sustain us from the first moment of life to the last. They are the sacred pulse, carrying our consciousness through time. Listening, singing, meditating or breathing with awareness reconnects us with those rhythms and with ourselves. Healing begins with breath, with presence and openness, the willingness to receive, to resonate, to become whole. Now, why is music a healing art? It has always been considered sacred because of its power to touch us on all the levels of our being. Music speaks the language of harmony. It transmits harmony. It is rooted in universal principles of balance, rhythm, tone, energy flow, number, proportion. These primal qualities shape our internal rhythms and deeply influence our whole being. They nourish body, mind, and soul. Sounds played or sung from a living source are especially potent because they are energized with prana, life force. Every sound is charged by a certain element, and it transmits that specific quality. We can compare the musical frequency or keynote to a radio station and its harmonics to the program it broadcasts. The deeper layers of sound, its overtones or harmonics, carry the subtle information, the feeling, the mystery and spirit. Sound doesn't just transmit harmony, it is a creative force and creates physical movement. Vibration is an energy in pulsation, and somatic experiences show in a stunning way how sound shapes sand or water into geometric patterns, creates geometry and a certain order within liquids. In the same way, music and sound affect our body. The body fluids, the respiratory system, nervous system, organs and glands. It creates a harmonious energy movement within. Now, which frequencies do have a healing effect? Which tones do we use in the healing music work? There are certain dominant frequencies that occur naturally in micro and macrocosm, like the Schumann resonance, often described as the heartbeat of the earth. There are solfeggio frequencies, based on a 6-tone scale supposedly used in ancient sacred European music. One of that frequencies is the 528 Hz, the so-called love frequency, that is said to have DNA repair qualities. There is a lot of discussion around the 432 Hz, and the tuning based on that frequency has supposedly more natural resonance than the standard 440 Hz tuning, and is connected to an esoteric numerology. The 432 Hz tuning does feel a bit softer, what is also natural as it has a bit less tension. I personally don't give so much importance to single frequencies, but more to a tone's quality, its character, sound, archetype, and emotional charge. The healing power for me comes from resonance, presence, intention, and immersive listening. Natural sounds, especially those rich in harmonics, are always complex blends of many vibrations, dynamics, intention, and life force. They are carrying a more harmonious and vibrant energy. Pure overtones, sung or played, are very powerful, as they are singular tones, pure codes of harmony. The human voice, of course, is the most powerful sound. But more than anything, it comes down to the energy a tone is charged with. Shamans and healers throughout history understood that intention gives sound its power and direction. Through a vital breath, true expression, and presence. Sound charged with empathy and love becomes a powerful healing force. In all healing work, the bottom line always comes down to love.
שותקת ומקשיבה לשירת הים, לשירת הים.
Now, how does music affect body, mind, and soul? On a physical level, we respond mainly to the energy movement of the music, to its rhythmical pulsation, its groove, its intensity. Dynamic music activates our own energy flow, charges us with life force, and creates movement and dance, ecstasy and joy. On the contrary, slow and deep music brings a sense of comfort and relaxation, a letting go of tension. On the physical level, music clearly affects heartbeat, breath, pulse, muscle tension and release, as well as nervous system regulation. Now, how does music affect our heart, our feelings? I believe it is very personal which music soothes your emotions, answers your emotional needs, brings comfort and connection. The main element here is obviously melody, as every melody paints a certain emotion or emotional potential, and our heart responds. It understands the language of harmony very well. It feels the melodic movement, the nuances, the intent, and finds comfort in the harmonic resolve of the music. The music's ability to transform those emotions into wisdom. Heartfelt music brings remembrance of love, of human wisdom and dignity. Music obviously has a powerful effect on our mind. In some miraculous way, it just brings us into the presence, creates images and evokes memories. Music takes us beyond thought. It helps us to stop thinking and worrying, but simply dive into the present moment, into a space where our mind can relax. In some ways, all music goes through the mind as the sound waves received by our ear are processed by the mind. Being in an attentive state of listening keeps the mind focused and centered, and by that our consciousness can expand beyond its usual borders. Speaking on a soul level, music can open portals to the divine. Immersed in a powerful musical experience, we can taste unity, peace, and connectedness with something grander than ourselves. Music becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where healing and transformation unfold. When that happens, music is no longer entertainment. It becomes medicine. Music in its essence is vibratory energy the same substance that holds the universe in manifestation. We are, in a sense, music ourselves, made of rhythms, cycles, and harmonic proportions. The use of sound to heal, balance, and align ourselves is natural because it matches the very nature of our own being. Music touches us in every part of our existence: body, heart, mind, and soul. It restores balance, awakens presence, and reminds us of our connection to life, to one another, and to the greater harmony of existence. Music is healing. It has always been healing, and it will always be. Thank you for listening. You find the complete content of Music is Medicine under healingmusicblog.com. The music for today's episode comes from two different albums, Fata Morgana and Mystic Traveler, together with Einat-healingworldmusic. The tracks are Armenia, Fata Morgana, Koamor, and Shiratayam. Heartfelt greetings to all of you. Thank you for listening. Music is medicine.